Alright, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be 5 top tips to get better green screen footage. Now, if you've been following me, the last video I put out was a stop motion video, and this utilised some of the tips I'm about to go into as well. Tip number 1 is to try and include camera movement. Now, you can do this in post with the use of keyframes, or you can do it in camera with the use of tracking markers on your green screen background. However, I would say for ease of use to use a similar hue of green in the tracking markers so that you can just key them out rather than going through the tedious task of rotoscoping. Tip number 2 would be to analyse the background plate that you plan on putting your character into. Look at where the light is coming from, so if there is a red light off to the right hand side, then you put a red light on the right hand side of your character to a certain degree to illuminate them and further seep them into the image. Tip number 3 kind of goes into that a little bit more, and that is the use of light wrap within After Effects for me, and this applies a value from the background plate onto the mask edge of your keyed character. A little extra information is that you should always try and keep the background, the green screen, very evenly lit, and this allows you to get a nice clean crisp cut out with the keying process. Another tip to improve that keying process is to try and shoot at a larger aperture. This allows the background to blur out a little bit more and get that even tone without risk of having masses of noise, which makes that crackly background effect. This, however, does come with its pitfall of you have to match the background with that sort of aperture look so that it doesn't look out of place with your character in the focus plane that they are on. Now, the final tip is about shutter speed. With the normal 180 degree rule, you get a lot of motion blur. You'll want to crank your shutter speed up to probably just over half. That will eliminate the shutter speed motion blur issue, and you will get a cleaner image. Now, you will have to remedy this in post by adding motion blur so it doesn't jar your viewer. However, there is effects for that, such as CC forced motion blur and other third-party effects to do this. So that has been the top 5 tips for better green screen footage. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below and I will get to them. If you have any suggestions on what you would like to see next, leave them down there as well. And until next time guys, keep it real, hunt that thrill. Peace. Side note, if you are interested in any other tutorials that I have done, they'll be somewhere here. Just click it.